one of the very important sources for that. Your YouTube videos for the explainers, the MCQ series on different reports, budget, economic surveys, that provided me with very good practice. I also extracted content out of those explainer videos to include in my notes.
Oliveboard का वो मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम था, उसमें अनिल सर के 2-3 सेशंस हुए थे, तो उन्होंने भी गाइड किया कि क्या अप्रोच रखना चाहिए, अगर मेंस का पेपर के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है तो वो कैसे प्रिपेयर करना है, प्रीलिम्स के लिए अगर अप्रोच रखना है तो वो कैसे रखना है, तो इस तरह से ओवरऑल फिर एग्जीक्यूशन के साथ में हुए।
Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Varsha Ma'am, and in this particular session, we are going to discuss about agriculture and rural development related current affair events from 20th of September till 26th of September. Okay, so there are so many important events happen in this week, which we are going to discuss here, and all the events are very important. So please make sure that you will mention or you will write all the important highlights of this event in your notebook as well. Okay. So the aspirants who are preparing for NABARD Grade A examination, this session is very, very important for you all guys. Okay, now let's start our discussion. If you feel like there is something that you are not getting, please let me know in the comment box so that I'll cover that particular portion as well. So you have to attend this lecture till the last moment. Although there are total 4 or 5 important events that happen in this week, but all the events are really very, very important, right? So let's start our discussion here. See, before going further, I'm going to inform you that this is our application information. Okay, download this application so that you will get the PDFs of YouTube classes, as well as there are so many important courses and other free preparation sources available on the application of Oliveboard. Go download this application, register yourself there, and start your preparations with the team of Oliveboard, right? Now, moving ahead, this is our batch. You can be the part of this batch and start your preparations with us. Okay, so this is about the first news. So recently what happened that on 21st of September 2025, Ministry of Rural Development, okay, it signs MOU, Memorandum of Understandings with the for technical assistance basically under Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission. So the Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission is to provide the livelihood opportunities to the person or the people who are living the rural part of the country, right? So for that, to making this scheme a success one, there is a need to have some these kind of memorandums where there is an involvement of different institutions that will help in technical assistance so that this particular scheme, this particular mission will be approachable, right? So let's talk about it in detail. So as per this, yeah, MOU was signed. There were 5 MOUs were signed, okay? And they were signed with National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj. You should be aware about the institutions, important research institutions, because there's a specific portion in your syllabus where it is mentioned that you might have the questions related to the locations of the research institutions. Okay, important institutions are important. So where this National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj located, it is at Hyderabad. Okay, and there are 4 national resource organizations. So Ministry of RD signed 5 MOU with NIRD and PR Hyderabad and 4 NROs, National Resource Organizations. So what? So if we talk about the National Resource Organization, that include the state rural livelihood missions. Okay, so these NRO, National Rural Organizations, that is State Rural Livelihood Missions of Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand and Telangana, for all these 4 important states, for strengthening interventions under the Deen Dayal so that the interventions will be more strengthened for the Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission. Okay, so that's why for the technical assistance, Ministry of RD Research and Development signed this MOU, right? Now, these states have been recognized. Why these states are recognized? For their pioneering work in digitalization, because these states are working very well in digitalization of all the things, where Bihar also leading, and Bihar is leading in food, nutrition, health, and wash interventions. Okay, so Bihar is showing good results, and other states are also having a recognized work in these specific fields. So that's why the need arises for this MOU. Now moving ahead, through this MOU, which was signed, so it was signed on 19th of September, okay, but it was published on news in 21st of September. That's why we are discussing it here. This National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj will focus on, so what will be the main responsibility of these institutions? It will help in building the capacities of state rural livelihood mission functionaries, community cadres, and creating a multi-thematic pool for resource persons, conducting inductions and leadership trainings, and documenting best practices. Okay, so this MOU will help in doing all these practices in a well manner, right? So that capacity building will be occurred for the state rural livelihood mission functionaries and community cadres, right? And it will also extend technical and strategic support to strengthen community institutions. And as well as this MOU will help in technical and strategic support to strengthen community institutions, enhance livelihood opportunities, promote digital innovation, and deepen social inclusions. Okay, so it will also extend all these support to strengthen community institutions and further work. Right now, this partnership further reaffirms. So, what this partnership further reaffirms? This is National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj role as a national hub. See, it is acting as a national hub. Okay, this institution is having all the related documents, research works, and all the personnel that will guide and that will provide a technical assistance. Okay, so this is an institution which is acting as a national hub for knowledge, for training, and for innovations in rural development. Okay, so this partnership, this MOU will definitely help in strengthening the Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission. Okay, and the Ministry for Rural Development, Ministry of Rural Development, it also acknowledged that the contribution of these national resource organizations whose technical support has been vital. So that will be very important in advancing LOKOS. Now, what is it? So it can be a question directly. Okay. If there will be a question like LOKOS, what is it? So it's a digital platform, and this is developed to improve the governance and strengthen seamless operations in self-help groups and their federations. Okay, so why this LOKOS operating system, a digital platform, is developed? So that the working in the self-help groups will be streamlined, okay, and also to improve the governance, okay, in the self-help groups and their federations, right? Digitization through LOKOS will enhance, it will increase the accountability and financial integration, building self-reliant rural communities through technology, right? So this is all about it. So this is about this MOU. You need to know about where is the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj located. Okay, and this MOU is signed for the main purpose of signing this MOU is to strengthen the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. Okay, so these are important points about the first news. Now moving ahead, let's talk about the another news. Right, so we always have very good tie with the Brazil, even though recently when our Union Minister of Agriculture, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji, he visited the Brazil for the BRICS summit and for different he learned the practices that we can follow for improve our production in soybean basically. Okay, so we are having very good ties with Brazil. So recently what happened? India Brazil strengthened partnership in, so we both as countries come together to strengthen our partnership in agri innovation, and for this time it is in the form of MET3 2.0, that is cross incubation program. Okay, so this time the strengthening in agro innovation is occurring through MET3 2.0 cross incubation program. Okay, so what happened during this? So where this happened, basically ICR, that is Indian Council of Agriculture Research, it has launched the second edition of Brazil India Cross Incubation Program in Agri-Tech, that is METRI 2, and where it was launched at New Delhi, right? Now the event, so who were present, who was the main delegates present during this launching? So Dr. ML Mangilal Jatt, who is he? He is Secretary DARE, and he is also Director General of ICAR, and HE Mr. Kenneth Nobrega, who is he is Ambassador of Brazil to India, along with senior officials and representatives from leading Brazilian research and innovation institutions. So they all were present during this launch event, right? These individuals were present during this launch events. Another important point, so obviously whenever these launch events happen, these kind of launch events happen, and there are representatives from two different countries. So what will they come forward? They will highlight the achievements of their countries. They will highlight about the bond that these two countries are sharing. They will highlight about the program, a specific event that they are gracing there. Okay, so when it's come to the turn of addressing people about the specific event, so Dr. Mangilal Jatt, he highlighted that India and Brazil are holding a 77-year-old partnership. Okay, we are holding a 77-year-old partnership. Okay, and we like Indians and Brazilians, we are having shared platforms where we are representing ourselves. Like we have the BRICS, we have the G20, and the recent ICAR EMBRAPA MOU, which is a milestone for collaboration. So it is acting as a collaboration across the agri-food value chain. Okay, so recalling the historical agricultural linkages, he also mentioned that this power of complementaries and the need for innovation driven growth. See, when we appreciate each other's efforts and take the like want to have a collaborations with each other, want to have a mutual growth conditions with each other, so it will always strengthen the opportunities for both the nations, right? So highlighting this particular point, he mentioned that there is a need for innovation driven growth. Okay, if there will be innovation in the growth measures that we are talking, so definitely we will emerge out as a more advantageous nation. Okay, he stated ICAR's transformation. So in year 1996, we have only 74 patents and to over 1800 annually. Okay, so that's how the ICR has transformed in the years. Supported by, we have incubation centers and over 5,000 licensing agreements. Okay, so that's how ICR importance and ICR achievements were highlighted by Dr. Mangilal Jatt there. He also underscored that commercialization is about delivering. So we are delivering public funded innovations to end users, not just revenue. Like whatsoever the new technologies we are coming forward with, we are supporting the end users with it. We are not using these technologies for revenues only. We are supporting the end users with these technologies. And he mentioned that this is very important to discuss here, that he mentioned that METRI 2.0, this program under which India and Brazil are strengthening their partnership. This METRI 2.0 is a two-way learning platform, and it is for co-creation between Indian and Brazilian innovators, and reaffirm the commitment to build and we both are trying to build a stronger, innovative, and inclusive agri-food ecosystem for global food security. Like these two countries are coming together for this project, and they will help each other so that we will emerge out with innovative ideas in agriculture that will strengthen the global food security. Okay, so these were the points mentioned by our Director General of ICA during this meeting or during this event. Okay, so apart from that, as I always mention that whenever there is such kind of events happen, the such kind of gatherings happen, all the representatives, they have to come forward to mention something, like they have to address the public, now, like what they are expecting from this collaborations, right? So HE, Mr. Kenneth Nobrega, who is ambassador of Brazil, in his remarks expressed appreciation. So he also mentioned that ICR is doing very well, ICR's initiatives he appreciate, and as well as he also mentioned the strategic importance, like how creating synergies, like how when the energies of two countries will come together, how it will help in creating an agri-tech ecosystem for India and Brazil. Okay, so this was mentioned. I also, as Dr. Mangilal Jet mentioned, similarly, he also mentioned that METRI 2, which is a cross incubation program that will reflects the broader Brazil-India strategic partnership, aligns with the leaders' shared visions for corporations, and that's how we will cooperate with each other in agriculture, emerging technologies, and food and nutritional securities as well, right? So these were all the points mentioned there. Okay, this is if you want to know what is METRI 2, what is the meaning of it. So I had mentioned a separate information or aim of METRI 2 here also. Okay, so you can go through this. Now moving ahead, we have another important news event that happened in this week. So what is it about? So recently on 22nd of September, Central Pollution Control Board. Okay, Central Pollution Control Board has celebrated its 51st Foundation Day. Like there are, like this is a very one of the very old organizations in India after independence, and okay, and it has recently completed 51 years. Okay, so during that particular time, Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Bhupendra Yadav ji, he presided over this specific celebrations and mentioned the work done by Central Pollution Control Board in the recent years. And there was specific inaugural events also happened during this Foundation Day celebrations. Okay, so let's talk about them. So where it was happened at Parivesh Bhavan, New Delhi, first one. And who was the chairperson? Union Environment Minister Shri Bhupendra Yadav ji. And obviously, what was his keywords during this like celebration that that Central Pollution Control Board, and it has established credibility, like how it has worked in the last 5 years, because of which whatsoever the reports released by Central Pollution Control Boards, they are trusted by the courts and the citizens of this country. Like the data present in this report is so genuine. So that shows the accountability and credibility of this board. Okay. Now, so as we are moving towards a target of $5 trillion economy, we had this GST reform. So that is implemented from 22nd of September. That is from the day on the day Central Pollution Control Board has completed its 51 years. Okay, so we are moving in a direction that whatever our all measures are, it will not cause any harmful impact on environment. Okay, and there is a need to evolve out as environmental regulations and norms so that economy and ecology go hand in hand. Okay, we want to be economically strong, but with that we also have to be ecology strong. If our ecology will be disturbed, obviously our environment or economy will have to suffer from it. Okay, so there's a need to have a collaboration between the economy and the environment or the ecology at one or the same time. Okay, and how it could be possible? There's a need to have collaborations with IITs, reputed academic institutions, leading research bodies. Okay, that is required for development so that new technologies will be developed, and expanding the environmental laboratories, and it will help in expanding the environmental labs in the country. Okay, so these were points discussed there. And if you had listened to PM Narendra Modi ji when he addressed our nation related to the GST reforms, that why these reforms has occurred, why now we are having only two slabs of tax and one is for 40%, okay, one is a 5%. No, 0% and 18%. We have these two tax slabs, and the one earlier we were having 5%, 12%, 18%. Now we have 0, 1, 2 extreme slabs and 40% slab. Why? So we want to make a nation as like make in India, like we want to be the manufacturers, okay? So that all the commodities that we are using on a regular basis, that will be manufactured in our country. We need to come out with new low polluting alternatives. We need to come out with all the alternatives that are not polluting our environment, and they're using the cleaner technologies for strengthening the Make in India, along with ensuring wider availabilities of these technologies for all the individuals. Okay, so that's why all these reforms were occurring in our GST this year. Right. Apart from that, the Central Pollution Control Board have a lot of roles to play. Like it has a major role to play in capacity building, like the state pollution control boards and the agencies. Okay, national green tribunals, they are all directly associated with the Central Pollution Control Boards. Okay, it is like an umbrella organization. Okay, it is like a main organization. Okay, where all the environment related matters are dealt, and it is acting as a mentor. Like whenever there is any data or anything that is having a doubt in it, Central Pollution Control will act as a main organization that will sort out all the problems, right? Another important, this is very important, I am mentioning about it. Please write about this in your notebook as well. Okay, this is very important paragraph that I am going to read now. See, here you can see, reflecting on the recent reforms brought out by the government of India. So recently, Government of India come out with a new reform, and that is the Jan Vishwas Act that is coming the year 2023. This is for decriminalizing provisions and Environment Audit Rules 2025, which we had already covered in our previous sections, right? Minister expressed that rules and regulations made by the government would not be effective unless there is a behavior change. It is not only in the case of environment, it is like applicable to all the things around us. Whatsoever the rules and the regulations that the government has made, whatsoever the promises you are doing to with yourself, whatsoever the resolutions you are talking, they cannot be effective unless there is a behavioral change, unless you start accepting it in your life. Okay, so thus environmental protection should be a part of a collective environmental consciousness. Okay, so it should be the collective effect of all, right? Now, moving ahead in this direction, we also mentioned the regulatory mechanism need to be seen along with. So, societal growth is needed to be seen, and with that, regulatory mechanism should also work well. Okay, there's it's important to link social science with science and technology to instill so that behavioral changes will occur, right? Are you getting all these points, aspirants? If you feel like there's something that is missing, or you're having a doubt on any point, please mention. Is it clear to everyone? So he emphasized that, yes. Okay, Ananya. Yeah. Clear? Next is, yeah, during this event, he also, yeah, this is important. So, this Central Pollution Control Board 51st Foundation Day event, okay, these are the all points that was mentioned here. And apart from that, you might have in a question in your examination, when was the Jan Vishwas Act, when was the Jan Vishwas Act enacted? It was enacted in the year 2023. We recently covered the environment audit rules, okay, in the last session. So please know about the rules, okay? Please read the news from the previous sessions, right? And okay, with this event, there was some inaugural ceremonies were also there. Like he laid foundation stone for new building of Central Pollution Control Board. This is not so important, but this is important that there are two new laboratories at Central Pollution Control Board's regional directorates in Pune and Shillong were inaugurated. Okay, and these new laboratories will have all the facilities that will monitor up to 50 and 62 environmental parameters respectively. Okay, so this one in Pune can monitor 50 parameters. Shillong can monitor 62 environmental parameters. And this Pune will serve the Maharashtra region, and the Shillong, okay, this new lab at Shillong will serve the regions of northeastern states of Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Tripura, and Sikkim. Okay, so where were the two new labs at CPBB regional directors were inaugurated? So you might have the combination in your examination, and you have to mark answer from this. Okay. Now, yeah, this is a new app. You might have heard about it before also. So Sameer app is related with what? Sameer app is related with what? If you have directly or indirectly relation with question with this, so how will you answer if you're not aware about it now? So it was launched, was also launched featuring a user-friendly interface, personalized alert, location-based services, and improved citizen engagement. So it is basically for information related to pollution and other things. Okay, and a technical report. So classification of polluted river stretches 2025. This is a report released by Central Pollution Control Board, not the Water Ministry and this Jal Shakti, okay, based on national water quality monitoring data. Further, a manual title identification of non-polluted and polluted stretches and water bodies through freshwater benthing micro invertebrates in India. It was also released by this ministry, environment minister there. Okay, so this is all about it now. Yeah. So this year, it is a very important news that we are going to discuss here. See, in our union budget of this year, it was also mentioned that we want to become Atmanirbhar in pulses production to support the farmers who are growing the pulse crop in this season. Okay, as we had covered in our Kharif season crops before also about the procurement, and here I'm also covering it. Like earlier we had covered it for the MP, Madhya Pradesh, and now we are covering it so for the some part of UP and for Gujarat. Okay, so that the farmers are about to harvest their pulses crop. Okay, so Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, he has announced that he has approved that 100% of procurement of these major pulses will be taken by the nodal agencies, government nodal agencies, so that the farmers will get the fair prices for the crops that they had grown in this Kharif season of 2025-26. Otherwise, they will fall into the trap of the money lenders, and then next year they will not think of growing the pulses crop again. Na? For example, if I'm not getting end result for any work that I'm doing today, next year I'll hesitate to do that work because I'll know that the outcomes were not in my favor. So that's why recently, whosoever the farmers were convinced to do the pulses production for this Kharif season, the 100% procurement will be done by the government agencies. Understood? Now moving ahead. So Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan has approved the procurement of major pulses and oilseeds in UP and Gujarat for the Kharif 2025-26 season. Okay, and he has approved it 100%. So we focused on three major pulses now: Urad, Tur, and Masoor. So 100% procurement of Urad, that is black lentils, Tur, that is pigeon pea from farmers, and also approving the purchase of. So this is like we are working in boosting the production of these three crops. So that's we are taking the 100% procurement of these three pulses. Okay, apart from that, other pulses will also be procured by the government now, because they will also be transported to the PDS now, so that they will be supplied to the like with the help of this fair price shops to the local public now, local people. So they will also be procured by the government. So it also approved the purchase of moong, that is green gram, sesame, and groundnuts in UP, and from Gujarat, which were the main crops that will be procured by government, that is a soya bean, moong, and groundnut. This is important, right? Now, he also directed the states that this particular procurement process should be transparent. Okay, all the data should be Aadhaar based authenticate, so that there will be more transparency, and that is to support the farmers. Okay, and it is mentioned in total the procurement of all these products, of all these agricultural commodities, the worth of all these agricultural commodities will go from 13,000 890.60 crore. Okay, so this was mentioned. Now, apart from that, so it is the data. You can mention it in your notebook, although you don't need to learn like exact datas, because after the final harvesting, there might be some changes in the data. Okay, what you need to know, 100% procurement of tur and urad. Tur and urad 100% procurement from UP. Okay, because as per the mission of national that Atmanirbharta and pulses production, we are about to boost the production of tur, masoor and urad. So these three pulses are our main targets now. Okay, so UP's proposal, Shri Chauhan approved the procurement of 100% of urad, and that is worth 1777.30 crore. Now we are estimating the value like that, okay, because it is 2,27,860 metric tons. And he also approved the 100% procurement of tur dal also, which I had mentioned here. Data you don't need to learn, but I'm providing you with the notes so that you can mention it for now. Okay, because these data can have some changes after the final revised estimations. Okay, this is the data we are having now. There will be the changes in the data now. So, and similarly for Gujarat, we have the procurement of urad, soybean and groundnut majorly. Okay, and that is for the moong also. So these were the datas. So understood, and why this is done, so that why there's a need to have 100% procurement of these commodities or these pulses, so that the farmers will not hesitate to grow the same commodities next year, because they will have the good money in their hand now. Okay, and there's a need to maintain a complete transparency. No irregularities should occur there. Only genuine farmers should get benefit of it. Middlemen will not participate or not take any advantage of it. Okay, Aadhaar-based biometry or facial authentications will be there. Okay, and this POS machines would be deployed, and about 350 in UP and 400 in Gujarat, so that all the systems will be more transparent. Okay, and yeah, so this is a question that I was expecting that you guys will ask to me, but no. As I already told you so many times, and also mentioned in the key highlights of the union budget, that what are the nodal agencies for the pulses procurement. So they are NABARD and NCCF. These are the nodal agencies for pulses procurement. Okay, so letters have been sent to National Agriculture Cooperative Marketing Federations and National Cooperative Consumer Federations for pre-registration of farmers. Okay, so only the registered farmers can sell their crops at MSP. Okay, so these are the main nodal agencies for pulses. Like FCI is a nodal agency for major cereal crops. Okay, so this is an important thing that you should aware about. And to make the system more transparent, all the payments will be digitally done. These are the two portals where the farmers have to register, and their bank accounts will be directly connected or directly attached on these portals, so that they will have the direct payments in their accounts when their pulses will be sold in the market. Okay, so these two are the portals here. Okay, understood? All the things are clear to you. So this is a data that we are having now, but final estimates or first advance after the first advance estimates of 2025-26, this data may have some fluctuations. Okay, it can be on the increase side or the decrease side. So on that basis, there will be some changes. Okay, the data will be revised further. So this is all about this news. Now moving on the next news. So recently there is a national initiative on water security was taken. Okay, we had observed that the groundwater depletion is occurring. We are on a mission of Jal Jeevan mission, where we are targeting to provide potable water to all the rural households. We are observing that the water that is to be drinkable, that is to be available to all the households in the country, that we are having a scarcity of it. We are facing the scarcity of that water. Okay, so there's a need to take some specific initiatives in this direction. So recently, Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji, and Jal Shakti Minister, Shri C.R. Patil ji, okay, that is Chandrakant Raghunath Patil, C.R. Patil ji, okay. They together launched an initiative, that is National Initiative of Water Security. Okay, so it was launched in Delhi, right? And yeah, Ministry of Rural Development. So Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji is also Ministry of Rural Development, na? So that's why he participated here. Yeah, for the next 4 years. Yeah, very good, Ananya. That means you, yeah. So why for the 4 years? Because after that the farmers will start taking it. Na? After that they will not procure their 100% pulses to the like nodal agencies. After that they will start selling to the storing their warehouses and other things they will start doing. Okay, 100% procurement initially it is done to support anything. For example, when you start going for the studies, you are getting a very delicated environment conditions or delicate conditions around you, like the complete shelter from all your closed one. Okay, because you are in a very budding stage. So similarly, we are trying to become Atmanirbhar in pulses production. So this is at a very budding stage. This initiative is a budding stage. Okay, so that time it needs a lot of care. So the farmers will not deviate to the major crops again. Okay, so that's why 100% procurement is done by these nodal agencies so that farmers will start taking it. Okay, and after 4 years, the farmers will be, it will be the choice of the farmers whether they want to sell to the government nodal agencies or whether they want to directly procure to the market. Okay, so that will be their choice after that, right? So this initiative is taken and it is to support the rural populations. Okay. So Ministry of Rural Development has made water security a national priority under Manrega. That we have the Manrega scheme. So under the Manrega, it is a national priority to have water security. Like we should have good quality of water available to us. Okay, so amendments have been made in the schedule of Manrega Act 2025 to give precedence to water related works in water stressed rural blocks. Okay, so in the rural areas where the people are facing the problems related to water, first preference will be given to those works which are related with the water scarcity. Okay, so these amendments were also done in this act of Manrega. Okay, so water related projects have to be considered first and after that the next projects. A historic step ensures that a minimum expenditure on water conservation and harvesting activities will now be mandatory. So in rural blocks, it is important that expenditures on water conservation should be minimum and the harvesting practices, like people should know how they can harvest the rainwater, how they can store the water so that they can use it water for the different purposes. Okay, because we are observing that groundwater is depleting and soon we will observe that this will become a biggest global challenge, that we will not have enough water available to us. Okay, and it will be a global challenge. And in this regard, our Prime Minister has also mentioned and give the directions with the help of different campaign now move forward and start taking specific measures like catch the rainwater harvesting and the construction of Amrit Sarovar. We had discussed about this Amrit Sarovar missions in a specific session you can go through. Okay. And yeah, he had instructed in a meeting of the Council of Ministers that the fixed portion of Manrega funds. So whatsoever the funds are allocated to the Manrega, okay, a fixed portion of this fund must be earmarked for water conservation. That specific amount of fund should be go through the water stressed rural blocks so that the water related problems of the rural households will be dealt on time. Okay, so this following this directive, it has now been mandated that it is now mandated that in over exploited blocks, 65% of Manrega funds will be used for water related works. Okay, and in semi-critical blocks, the blocks which are in the condition of semi-critical, 40% of Manrega funds will be spent on water conservation. And even in blocks which are not having the water scarcity, at least 30% of fund will go towards water related works. Okay, so that in future no water scarcity related issues will occur in these areas. Okay, so there's a need to take specific measures in this direction. Manrega resources will now be channeled with priority into water conservation. Now all the projects which will come under the Manrega, first priority will be given to the projects which are related to the water conservation so that it will help in boosting the groundwater recharge and accelerating the conservation drives. So this policy decision ensures that resources are directed to the areas of greatest needs, shifting the approach from reactive to preventive and long-term water management. Okay. Other than that, yeah. So as I already mentioned another important thing is also mentioned, suppose are now allocated, suppose this is the fund that is allocated for Manrega this year. So 65% will be for the dark zone, 40% for semi-critical districts, and 30% for other districts like they are not facing any water related issues now, but in future they might face. So there's a need to take specific measures from the very beginning now, because this issue is about to happen in near future in all the cities of our country. Okay, we are observing that how we are disturbing all the natural events. So situations will be worse for sure in future. So we need to take specific measures from today onwards, so that we can be able to handle the things well. Okay, if we'll not start taking the actions in this direction, we have to suffer a lot, right? And yeah, so here is a background now. So this is some important points mentioned in this direction. So this is the policy change. This policy change based on significant achievements in rural development and water conservation under MNREGA over the past 11 years, like from 2014, what are the specific achievements and the changes that have occurred in the water conservations and the developments in this direction from the last 11 years. Okay. And during this period, MNREGA has become the world's largest social welfare program with an expenditure of about 8.4 lakh crores and the generation of over 3,000 crore person days of employment. Okay, and notably, women participation has also risen. Like women are now also involved in the works assigned as per MNREGA. Okay, so till this, like as per this scheme, more than 1.25 crore water conservation assets like farm ponds, check dams, and community tanks has been created, so that water related structures will be there, and that's how we can support the conservation of water related projects. Okay, mission Amrit Sarovar we had already discussed. Under this, more than 68,000 reservoirs have been constructed in the first phase alone. So that's how we are working in this direction, right? So these are all the important events related to agriculture and rural development, okay, that occurred from 22nd of September, 20th of September till 26th of September. If still there is any issue that any event that we had not covered here, see, I'll cover it in our MCQ session, okay, where I usually compile all the questions from all the topics that we had covered and the topics that we have not covered even, right? So, do you have any doubts or queries till this point? Or should I end our session for now? Yeah, anything you want to ask? No doubts or queries? Yeah, this is a batch, aspirants. You can be the part of this batch, huh? Yeah, good night. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome. See, these sessions that I am taking on every Friday at 6 p.m., these sessions are very important for your NABARD examinations. Okay, please do the revisions of all these classes before going for the examinations. I am covering all the detailed information and the news for you guys. Now I'm ending the session for now. Bye-bye.